It's Monday, and although it's a week until we play Brentford, it feels closer to me. It feels like because we're heading into game week 8 of the Premier League season in 19th place after a dreadful start to the season. The next round of games are so vital, and of course, it kicks off against Brentford. So, although it's a week away, it just feels closer to me. Just feels a bit closer. And I don't know about you. I've missed it. Although it's been quite nice. A little bit of a little break from West Ham. I do want us to get us back in action. I want us to see what the players and the team have been working on, and hopefully we see a bit more of a solid at West Ham going into these games because they're just vital. The next 4 games are absolutely vital, and Brentford's a huge game. Also, a huge game because of the significance of the fixture itself. We need the win, but also because of the protests and the planned boycott. It's just a big time this is for West Ham, us as fans. It's really testing, and yeah, it's a big week. So let's just hope that things start falling into place for us because we really need it to. I talked about obviously the injury to Nicholas Fulkrug yesterday, which is, yeah, look, it's considered a blow. Of course it is. Losing a player is always a negative. You don't want to say it's a positive, but I also see the silver lining in it, in that I feel like it forces Nuno's hand then to make that change that we need because I've been so unimpressed with Fulkrug. But I've talked about it yesterday, so if you haven't seen it, go and check it out from a video from yesterday evening. Got some news though from EXWHU employee. In regards to the coaching setup. Before I get into it though, if you're new to the channel, do subscribe. We really do appreciate the support. There'll be a few of you that watch this, about half that watch this that are regular viewers that aren't subscribers. So if you go and check that out, let's change that. Come and join us on this journey. Why wouldn't you want to join us on this journey? It's laugh a minute supporting West Ham United. Yeah, no, I do appreciate it. Really appreciate the support. We'll hit that like button as well. And if you give us a hype, really appreciate it as well. Right, so this has come from EXWHU employee in regards to the under-18 manager situation. So West Ham have parted ways with Laurie Coggin, who I don't know the details of that. I don't know why that's happened. Someone may know better than I do. Maybe I'm out of the loop a little bit on that one. I'm not sure. But Laurie Coggin's left his role as under-18 manager, has left the football club. So, yeah, the club are basically looking to appoint a replacement. Now, it's come about from EXWHU employee that it's looking likely, it's not 100% certain yet, but looking quite likely it could be Kevin Keane's son, Eddie. So this is the update from X. Anyway, I want to I'll read out what he's put up. So he said he said West Ham, in fact, look to set to appoint Kevin Keane's son, Eddie, as the under-18s manager. While this hasn't officially confirmed yet, it's thought that he's a front runner for the job to replace Laurie Coggin. Eddie currently works as a lead under-18 coach at Colchester and also has worked with Brentford in a similar role previously to that. So he's obviously got a bit of experience. And of course, there'll also be changes to the under-21 staff now with Steve Potts and Mark Robson have been appointed as first team coaches. And also, quite interestingly, today it's come out that Julian Dix has left his role as at Haybridge Swifts as their manager, which is a shame because, Julian, obviously club legend, but such a lovely bloke. And yeah, I'm not quite sure, again, the exact reason behind that, but I feel like he said that it was right for him to step away, someone else to take over. But whether that's got an interest, the timing's quite interesting, isn't it? Because West Ham are now looking to bring in under-21 new coaches. So I wonder if Julian's going to have an eye on that. Possibly so. It would make sense, wouldn't it, considering the fact his connection with the club, experience with the football club. But obviously he's with West Ham and a lot of his managerial roles and where he's been involved in football clubs, he's been working with Slaven Bilic. So it's just interesting, be an interesting one to see what happens there. But I would certainly love to see Julian back at West Ham. But whether that's the case, maybe I'm just putting two and two together and getting 5. Who knows? But we'll wait and see on that one. But it just seems, the timing seems interesting, doesn't it? But let's wait and see. Yeah, so my thoughts on this are that I'm, in terms of Kevin Keane's son, no problem with that at all. I mean, Kevin Keane, I've met a couple of times and he came to pre-match events, Dave and X, and I've got to say, just such a top bloke, like such a different character to as I imagined him when I was young and watching Kevin Keane, because he was quite a quiet player, Kevin, in terms of a bit like Bowen, that character, like just a really good footballer, but yeah, not too noisy, not too shouty, not too aggressive and that thing. But actually, when you meet him, he's a really serious character and quite tough, actually. But he really loves working with the coaching setup. He loves developing players. Because he was asked a couple of times, would you be interested in stepping up to the first team? And he actually wasn't. He said, no, I actually love developing younger players to that step. I'm not really interested in sort of senior football, which was really good. And so he's staying in his role at the moment in under-21s, Kevin himself, but under-18s position now going to his son, possibly, Eddie. So that's good. And I like the fact, that West Ham connection, keeping it going. And that's one thing I want to talk about. I mean, mentioned yesterday about Fulkrug. It was a bit of a negative video, I guess, in terms of, West Ham and the general feeling of West Ham and how we go about doing things and all that kind of stuff. But I will say, as much as I've got, like many, this frustration towards the club and the ownership and the way things are at West Ham, I'm really liking Nuno. I'm really liking what he seems to be bringing to the club. And I, I was a little bit wary, actually, when it came about that when Graham Potter left, which is obviously normal that his coaching staff then left, and then it was said straight away, well, Nuno's going to be bringing in all his own coaching staff. I don't know about you, but there's a part of me that just thinks, oh God, I mean, if you're a player, and within a few months you've got a whole new team of people coming in to manage you, it must be so, your head must be spinning. Do you know what I mean? It's so frustrating that in fact you just started working with someone, then they're gone, then you've got to go all new coaches again, all new setup again. So when Nuno first came in, they said, oh, actually, some of the academy lads, in terms of Steve Potts, Mark Robson and co, were going to step up to work with him temporarily. I was really excited by that. I thought, they're going to be in for a couple of games until the international break. I thought, oh, brilliant. How great is that going to be? So the fact he's now promoted them, I just think is fantastic. So just to reiterate, sort of go over what has been announced officially now by the club. They said the West Ham are pleased to confirm the academy coaches Mark Robson, Steve Potts, Gerard Prendenville, and Billy Lepine have been given permanent first team positions by head coach Nuno Espirito Santo. The quartet, who have been assisting with Nuno on an interim basis since his appointment, will now assume their roles on a full-time basis. Mark, Steve, and Gerard and as first team coaches, and Billy as the goalkeeping coach. I just love this. I really love this consistency in terms of the club. I like to see people that are West Ham people understand the club, get the ethos of it. Robson and Potts have been, and Keane, of course, well, but he's obviously not involved in this. Have been at the club for so long. They get it. Do you know what I mean? They're West Ham. They understand. They get it like us. Do you know what I mean? Like if we sat in a room with Nuno, right, and he said to us, like, explain this, we could talk for hours, couldn't we, about West Ham? We could talk for hours about the history, the rivalries, and our views on certain things, how things should be played. And I just think it's so important. The fact Nuno's embracing that, I think, is fabulous. And he put out a good comment. Now, look, I know this is all kind of spiel, but at the end of the day, he is saying these things. I just like what he said. He said they are a great asset. They're people who, beyond their knowledge and effort, feel for West Ham United, and this is key to the challenge of what we are facing. And I really, that sentence really resonated with me. Do you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me when Trevor Brooking was in the dugout all those years ago, 2003, 2001. 2001 maybe? No, 2003, 2001. I can't remember. The year we got relegated. I'm getting my years mixed up. When we went down, it's when Glenn Roeder, he fell ill, and then Trevor Brooker had to step in for the last few games of the season. It was just, although we still went down, so probably not the best analogy. Let's hope it doesn't, history repeat itself. But just seeing Brook in there, do you know what I mean? And West Ham people in that dugout, I love it. I really love it. So I like that this is what we're seeing from Nuno. He is totally understanding of how important it is to have that connection, that West Ham in the dugout with him, so he understands the club. And I think it helps with the fans as well. I think you get that connection between the dugout and the fans and on the players on the pitch. I just think it really helps things. So be interesting to see, isn't it, with Julian Dix? And I'm sort of going back to what I said, but certainly keep an eye out for that. He also said, I've been very impressed by their work, their knowledge, and their commitment to West Ham. They know the club, the players, and the people here very well, and that's a great strength for us going forward. Everyone has been very supportive during these first 2 weeks. They immediately understood what I'm trying to implement, and we already have a good relationship. Every day we learn more and work harder to getting closer to the team that we want to become. I like this. I really like everything we're getting from Nuno at the moment. I think he has come in with this sort of bullish, tough attitude of this is what we're going to be doing, but there's this sort of humbleness about him as well, and wanting to embrace West Ham and to get the people around him to help him do so. I really am liking what I'm seeing, hearing so far. It's now let's go and see it on the pitch. I don't see any problem with this at all. I think it's a really good thing, and let's really hope this works out well for him, because this does feel like we've got a guy that knows what he's talking about here. With Graham Potter, people might say, well, hang on, you were saying this before, and you're right? I've been easily led before, right? But with Potter, it's like he said a lot of things but didn't do them. Do you know what I mean? Already we're seeing Nuno do them. He's already appointing people, going, right, you're promoted, you're going to work with me, you're now my coaches. You know, when it was in the interim, when he said, "Oh yeah, it'd be good to have like people around me from West Ham," I thought, yeah, but it's only going to be for a couple of weeks, then you're going to bring your own people in, and that's what I was expecting. The fact he hasn't done that, I just think it's great. I mean, he is still going to bring people in with him. I'm not saying that he isn't. He will have an assistant manager and all that kind of stuff come in, and that should be confirmed, I imagine, this week ahead of the games this weekend. But well, obviously we play Monday, but I think we're seeing more from Nuno already. I think he's doing a lot more. Like, you know, with Potter, it was a lot of talk, obviously, about the academy, wasn't it? But we didn't really see many academy lads getting a go. I think already with Nuno, you're seeing it. We already had Potts and Marshall on against Arsenal for the best part of 40 minutes. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, really, really pleased about this. I think it's a real positive, and I want to try to lean on positivity as much as possible. As people know me, I do try and do that. I don't want to just sit here ranting and raving every 5 minutes and moaning about everything. But although it's a tough time as a West Ham fan, we've got to try and be positive and try and look forward, because let's be honest, the next few games are vital. Brentford, just a massive, massive game. It's horrible with what's going on with our relationship between us and the owners, but my feeling is on it. We need to stay strong and stick to run the course here in terms of this, and don't deviate away from it, because we need change at this club. There's no two ways about it in terms of ownership. It's gone on for far too long. But was it support the team and not the regime, and that's kind of where my mind's at. So yeah, I'll be fully hoping that we get a result and cheering them on from the sofa on Monday night. But yeah, looking forward to it. There'll be more videos this week, of course. I'm expecting some more news from X later on this evening. So we'll play some more videos tomorrow and that to talk about what X has been talking about. But look, enjoy the rest of your day. Hope you have a good one. And yeah, I'll catch you soon. Come on, you irons.